Hello my adorable squidlings, it's Katie here, and for today's video we're going to be doing something really exciting. We're going to be doing some Valentine's Day ideas in your sketchbook, as you might be able to tell from the title. So I'm going to be going over about 10 things that you can do in your sketchbook. Maybe you're bored, maybe you just want some like Valentine's-y themed things in your sketchbook. But we're going to be doing some fun art. Before I get into the video though, speaking of Valentine's Day, I do have a ton of new things in my store that are Valentine's and spring related. I have new washi tapes, I have new charms, I have new stickers and prints as well. So if you're interested in any of that, there'll be a link up here, and I also have a coupon code. It'll be Let's Cuddle 10, cuddle like in cuttlefish. I'll have it on the screen and in the description. And you can get 10% off your entire order. So anyway, let's dive into these fun Valentine's-y illustrations. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and we're going to be painting on this side of the paper here. I'm using a new brush, so bear with me. And I am also using my Derwent Inktense palette. If you want to know all the supplies that I used, I will have it all in the description as well. So the first thing I want to paint is something pretty obvious. I don't know if all countries sell these, but they are little conversation hearts. And I just love them. They're one of my favorite candies, which I know is kind of weird to be a favorite candy. And that should be a good enough color, right? If it's too dark, it's fine. So I'm just going to be drawing some hearts, and I'm going to draw them kind of big because I want to write stuff in them. And this is super simple. You can just draw a bunch of hearts, really. They can be different colors, different shapes. Obviously, they can say different things. All right, we did a couple pink ones. They have all sorts of colors, so I'm just going to, I'm just going to make some different colors. Do a purple one. It's a really pretty purple. And these don't have to be perfect. They're just little hearts. I don't want that one to go too much into the pink one. Let's do one that's a little more blue, maybe. And then let's see, we can do like an orangey pink one. Like a peach. That's the word. Orangey pink is peach. This one could use a little more pink, maybe. And again, these are just super simple. They definitely don't have to be perfect. And I'm sure you could use your brush to your advantage. Let's make a green one. And you could just kind of like... Oh, my brush is really dry. What in the world? Anyway, you could just not have to fill it in. Just push down and get lighter as the heart ends, and it'll help. I don't have ultra brush control, especially with using a new brush, so. Anyway, so those are the hearts. I think I'm gonna make one more being a yellow. And then I'm gonna call it quits here. Okay, so I'm gonna be filling in these with maybe some puns, maybe some of the regular like, you're the best, or something like that. I am gonna be doing some of the puns that are featured on my Squid washi tape, just because I do really love them. So the first one here is going to say, Squid goals. I am not a calligrapher, so these aren't going to be absolutely perfect. I'll put maybe a little tiny heart here. Squid goals! And then maybe for this one down here, I'll do, let's cuddle, but like cuttlefish with an exclamation point. Let's see. We'll do you're cute on this one. Actually, we'll say you're a cutie. You're a cutie. Maybe for this one, we'll do a play on words. We'll do self-love, like cephalopod, but it's like self-love, you know? Let's do you are incredible. That one's not going to fit on here, but let's pretend it fits. Whoops. Let's see, we could also just do some other ones. I don't even know what some of the actual ones say. I know they maybe XOXO. We'll do text me, and then I'll do love you. But these are really fun, and actually, since they're dry, another thing we can do to give them a little bit more dimension is we can actually add a darker color to the side, like over here, just to give them a little bit more dimension to kind of make them seem like they're a little bit more of a candy and not just like a random heart that you painted on your page, even though it totally is just a random heart that you painted on your page. And it's actually really easy just to add the little shading bit, just because it doesn't really require much. You're just kind of going on whatever side you want. And it's really easy to make these shadows too, because you just kind of pick a side and paint it in. I don't know. Super simple, really. And then I'll do a little orangey yellow for this one. And I'm just picking random sides to make them look, you know, like they have 3 dimensions on them. Honestly, I'm really picking the side that doesn't have a lot of text on it, so I don't go over that text. And then the last one we have is this blue one. And then with that, our conversation hearts are done. The next thing you can do in your sketchbook is paint some flowers, whether you grab a reference for some flowers or whether you got some for Valentine's Day. Typically red is, you know, the flowers you'll get, so super simple. You can just make some little tiny, like, they're kind of like C's almost with your paintbrush. And this is for loose watercolors, so you can paint them however you want. I just want to do them really, really loosely here. I'm going to pop in a little orange for some dimension. Lighten my colors here a little bit and just let it feather out, and then you get a nice rose type flower. If you want, you can darken up some spots by adding a little bit more paint like I'm doing here, diversifying it maybe by adding some other colors. Some of my favorite roses are actually the peachy colored roses. I really love them. You could also go for a darker rose color, so if I'm gonna mix a little bit of like plum into here, just using the same technique really, just adding in some little C's and then just kind of going from there. They're really simple. You just kind of go around the flower. I kind of do it in a random way, and I also like to bleed it into other flowers. So you could do that and then add some of this poppy in here just to give it a little bit more red and a little bit of the dark plum. And then actually right here, I'd like there to be a petal. And then I'm going to add some leaves. Just really simple. I just mixed up a really simple green. This was actually already on the palette. You can, of course, diversify it with whatever colors you want. You don't have to do the same colors I'm doing. But yeah, just paint whatever flowers. If you got a bouquet or something, it'd be really great to take some pictures or have them on your desk next to you while you're painting these. And again, or you could just grab some random reference. You could also put them in a vase of some kind. That would be cool too. Another thing I'm really excited to show you, you can actually paint some cute little love letters, and I'm sure you could do a lot with this. So I'm going to start out with like a light blue, it may be darker. It's this mix of purple that I used up here. But anyway, I'm just going to paint a rectangle. And you can use these ideas for anything. It doesn't have to just be your sketchbook. It could be cards. It could be literally anything. Oh, I got a paint chunk in there. But I'm just going to paint a little rectangle. And then, of course, you have to let that dry before we add a little bit more to it. But you can do any color, really. I'm going to do a soft peachy yellow one. I'll do it right here, not bleeding into the other one. Okay, it might go into the other one. And then we're gonna let those dry, and then we'll come back and add some cute little details. Now that our little envelopes are dry, I'm gonna take a little bit darker of a mix of each color, and I'm going to paint in the details. You can use a pen with this. You can sketch it out beforehand. I want these to be really simple, so I'm just using paint. I might blend it out just a little bit on some of the edges I don't want to be super harsh. Like so. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. And if you don't know what an envelope looks like, feel free to grab a reference. Nothing wrong with grabbing a reference. They're great. And then once more, we're going to let this dry so we can add the final detail to our little love letter. So the last little bit I'm going to do here, just to make it a little extra special and more love letter-like, I'm going to make it have a cute little heart seal. I think it adds so much. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like it just adds so much to the little love letter. And of course you can decorate them however you want, if you want to put hearts or whatever on the outsides, but they're just so cute, and I don't know, these make me really happy. Another fun thing, I think they're really cute. You can do like little heart-shaped balloons. So I'm just gonna grab like straight paint. I want them to be really vivid. And you know what? I don't know. I want to do a bunch of different colors of like pinks and purples. So we'll just kind of plop in some colors. Maybe we'll do lighter ones and darker ones. Maybe I'll throw in a little blue in there. And if you get them too close, of course, they'll bleed. And if you want that, that's fine. Go for it. I certainly don't mind. You can layer them up if you want. But then after you're done, you can grab a dark color or honestly, really whatever color you want. And you can just make a little string of balloons. And then you can go over it with details like a pin or like white gel pen or something. And actually, this bloomed a little bit too much, so we're gonna change that up. This had a lot of water in it. And I don't know, maybe I'll add another balloon in here. I'm gonna add another red one. Another heart for you is actually a really simple one. And I'm gonna do an orange one because orange happens to be my favorite color, if you didn't know. And I'm just going to make a really giant heart. And this one's going to be like the easiest one out of all of them. Make sure I've got it nice and watery. And then we're just going to do some paint splatters. So I've got a little red on my brush. I'm just going to tap my brush like this. And there'll just be some paint splatters. And they'll go into the heart as well. Maybe we'll mix a little bit of orange in the red that I used just a second ago. I'm getting paint everywhere, but if you want, you can also just kind of like add little drippies with your paintbrush. You definitely don't have to do the actual paint splatter method if you don't want to. Like I said, it is quite messy, but these are always really fun. You can do a bunch of them, honestly. The more you have and like the more they bleed into each other, the more fun it is. This one almost looks a little morbid, but that's okay. But anyway, those are a couple of paint splattery hearts that are always really fun. I think the last one I'm going to do on this specific page is another heart, so we're just going to do a bunch of hearts here. And for this one, we're going to have to actually let it dry. I'm going to do a nice blue heart for this, I think. But anyway, we're going to do a geometric heart, and those are always really fun, especially if you just kind of want to doodle. This is really simple. You can just plop down some color, wait for it to dry, and then, well, I'll show you what happens when it's dry. And I know I am painting all of these in watercolor, but these can be done with any medium. You can do them in markers, acrylic paints. They may work just a little differently, but you can do them pretty much with any medium you want. And I guess I said I'm doing these in watercolor, but technically these are not watercolor. The ink tints are ink pans, so, but I'm using them like a watercolor, so. Alright, anyway, I need to let this one dry, and then I'll come back and show you the geometric part of it. So for this geometric heart, I'm going to actually be drawing some lines, and you can do this with a pen, pencil, whatever. I'm just going to go in with the paint, and I'm just going to just draw some really simple lines across this heart. Not really thinking about any rhyme or reason here. We'll be filling in the heart parts later, like the different sections. So, yeah, I mean, maybe be thinking about what kind of colors you want. or something like that. It almost looks like a broken heart, and that's definitely not what I'm going for. But anyway, we're going to be just filling this in with different colors, just whatever. So be thinking about the colors you want. You definitely don't have to keep these lines here if you don't want to. I'm going to fill it in with some reds, and I don't really mind if this goes through all the lines I've made. That's totally fine. They were just for kind of like guidelines. And I'm just going to do red in a bunch of different places here. I personally don't want too many of the different colors to touch, so like I don't really want too many reds together and all that. Again, you can do whatever your little heart desires. I maybe shouldn't have done blue, but that's okay. I'm gonna grab some plum. And obviously I am going to keep some of the blue parts blue. Maybe I'll make some of the darker part, or like some other parts blue, but make them just a hair darker. I kind of figured that would bleed, but it honestly doesn't look too bad, so it's fine. And then when you let that dry, it will be a little geometric heart. You can go back and add line art to it if you want. You can add different colors. You definitely don't have to do it the way I did it. This is just my way. There are tons of ways you can do a geometric heart. You can start out with a really, really light color and then work your way in. You can actually just start out with lines. But anyway, little geometric heart. Next up on the list of things to paint, I'm going to paint some chocolate covered strawberries. Now I don't know about you, but I really, really love strawberries around this time of year. I don't know what it is. But I'm just going to be painting kind of like the general shape of a strawberry. They're kind of triangular shaped. And I'm just going to be varying the colors of my little strawberries. I'm going to lighten them up just kind of as I paint. We've got 3 strawberries here. Might drop in some paint down here at the bottom. This one's going to be a big strawberry. And then I want to also do a like white strawberry, like a, what's it called? Like a white chocolate covered strawberry. So I'm only going to do the top part on one of these. And I'm just kind of going in with the basic red here. I'm going to mix up a little bit of this like Viridian-esque green with this kiwi green. So I can get a nice leaf color, and strawberry leaves are very just kind of like that. They're just very pokey. So we're just going to pull those out. It's okay if it mixes with the strawberry. Make them big, make them small. Just have fun. That's the only thing I want you to do on these paintings, is just have fun. For the white chocolate, I'm going to make just like a light pinky color because I want it to be white, but it's also going to be like a shadow. So I'm just going to put like a little shadow just around there. Just make it like an invisible strawberry. And then I'm going to just kind of feather it out just a little bit. Might as well add a shadow to all of them, right? Probably should have waited, but that's fine. That's what paper towels are for. I'll wait for the rest of them just because I don't want them to all bleed into it. But then I'll be going over it with like a brownish color for the rest of the chocolate covered strawberries, and maybe we'll do some like little stripes and stuff. So now that our strawberries have dried, I'm going to be adding a layer of brown on top to denote the chocolate coveredness. The nice thing about watercolors is that they layer very nicely. For this one, I'm going to just do like a little chocolate drizzle. Gonna have it kind of go off the edge here, and maybe it'll drip down just a bit. I don't know if you've ever worked in piping anything, but unless you're really good at it, it tends to drip. That was unfortunate. Oh well. It adds some character. It's fine. And then the last one here, I'm gonna do like a lighter layer here. Maybe it was like a milk chocolate. Maybe the first one was like a dark chocolate. Maybe this one's a milk chocolate, and then we'll go in way down here just for like a little darker chocolate. Or it could be the same chocolate because it does all look very similar. And then lastly, we have the white chocolate strawberry, and to differentiate it, I'm going to have a little bit of blue. And by a little bit, I mean I put a lot there. We're just gonna feather it out. I just kind of want it to be just a little shadow, and then we'll add some shadows underneath. And there are your super easy chocolate covered strawberries. And if you really want, you can go back over some of these leaves, because like that one definitely got covered up by the red, and I'm gonna add just a touch of red right here just to shade it a little bit, because it did get kind of, yeah, it faded a lot. If you really want to take it a step further, you can of course add little dots to your strawberries. I'm not going to because I don't want to, but you can do that. And actually, I think these turned out really, really well. That brown spot's not going anywhere. All right. I love these strawberries so much. Oh my goodness. The next thing I'm going to draw is actually kind of based on something I already have at home, and that is my Anthurium plant. If you don't know what an Anthurium plant is, they are really low maintenance, or at least mine is, and they have these beautiful leaves. They are heart-shaped, and some of the leaves are actually, they can be multicolored. So I have one that has red leaves, but I know that they have like purple ones and pink ones out there, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I'm just going to paint that. So again, they have heart-shaped leaves. I'm going to kind of reference mine a little bit. And some of them are green. Some of mine anyway, are like a lighter, like yellowier green. And of course, if you need a reference, go on Google. If you have an Anthurium plant, go ahead and reference that. I'm just going to go in with this red right here for the colored leaves. And I do believe they're considered leaves. I don't think they're actually like flowers or anything, even though they are very flower-like. And then they also have these yellow stamens. Sometimes they're green stamens. I'm just going to plop mine right here because I already kind of went over it with the green. And then after that, I'm just going to draw the little stems. Maybe I'll put them in a terracotta pot, actually. We're just gonna put them in a little pot, and we're just gonna paint some lines. Maybe there's some heart-shaped leaves down at the bottom. Just gonna kind of plop in some color in through here, and then just add a little bit of soil in here. Of course, there are other heart-shaped plants. I know the Monstera is also a heart-shaped plant. And you know what? Just to fill up this little bit of space right here, we're just gonna paint a Monstera leaf. I've actually got a reference over here. So they're heart-shaped, but they also have these little broken up areas, and they're just really pretty. So I'm just kind of going off this photo here, and I'm just really loosely going off of it. I'm just kind of plopping in the leaves as I see fit, or I guess it's all one leaf, huh? And they just have all these little gaps between them, and then they come out into a little heart shape. And then ta-da! Really simple, honestly. And then they do also have little dots in the center. I did not account for that whenever I painted it a second ago. But you can also add a little bit of shading if you would like. Just kind of throw in some paint in. And then if you want to do more of them, be my guest. If you want to just leave it at that, you can just draw like a little stem coming off of it. Yeah, monsteras are really pretty as well. I definitely did not do it justice. I feel like it would have benefited from an undersketch, but I just kind of wanted to fill that spot up. So anyway, on to the next one. It would not be a Katie tutorial if I did not draw a squid, am I right? And I'm really not sure if I'm gonna do one or the other, or heck, I might even just do both. But one has a little bit to do with the self-love that I kind of showed you earlier. And I just kind of want to draw a cute little squid hugging itself, giving itself some self-love, or some cephalopod love, if you will. Because there's nothing more important around Valentine's Day than loving yourself. You should always love yourself, even if you don't have a Valentine or whatever. You should be your own Valentine. I need my eraser. So I'm just going to draw the tentacles kind of crossing its little body. Again, hugging itself. And then I just want it to be the happiest little bloop ever. So it's just gonna be super cute. And then maybe we'll put some little hearts around it. And then the other idea, I will paint this, but I want to sketch out the other idea while I'm here. I'm actually going to draw this upside down. Kind of similar to this one, I want to draw just a cute little squid. Make this one a little wider than the last one. And I actually want this squid to be like a little heart. I don't know if it's gonna translate very well. I guess we'll see, huh? It kind of translated. Alright, it's a little heart. Let me draw the little face. Alright, so now that we have our little squids, I'm going to paint them before I add any lines, because I do plan on adding some line art here. And to kind of combat a lot of the pink I've used, I'm going to actually make sure I make some purple this time, and I want to do just a, I don't know, like a red violet. And I'm just going to go over all that I sketched here. Just going to go right over that. And I've been really inspired to make like puns with my squids. I don't know, so that's where the self-love came from. I was sitting downstairs sketching and trying to figure out what I wanted to do for this video, and I was like, oh my god, cephalopod love! But also self-love. It's very important, so I will be writing that in a second. And then for this last one, I want it to be a little peachier, and oh, that's like the perfect color. Who's surprised? It's like an orange color. Raise your hand if you're surprised that Katie's using orange. And I just want it to be like a light little wash. And I'm totally okay with the sketch lines being in there. For a final piece or something like that, I would certainly erase it. But this is my sketchbook, and I'm not too worried about sketch lines. Alright, time to let these dry and then we can add some details. Okay, time to finish up these cuties. So I erased the hearts and I wrote self-love on this one. And again, I'm just going to shade it up a little bit. Not too terribly much, but just a tad. Like I said, I am going to add some line work into this, so I'm not super concerned about the paint job at the moment. I like some of my line work to kind of finish the piece. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But anyway, yeah, I'm just choosing a different color, or not a different color, a darker color than I initially colored it with. And then I'm just shading some of the areas where I feel like there would be shading, really. I know that sounds really simple, but I'm just kind of winging it, really. And yeah, there's nothing really difficult about any of these pieces that I've done. I really wanted them to just be simple, something you could do in your spare time in your sketchbook. I don't know about you, but I really don't like being too detailed in my sketchbook, just because I feel like it's an area for practice and for growth, and I don't know, I don't like to be too harsh on myself in my sketchbook. So now that I've got a lot of the areas just kind of colored in here, we're going to just color in some of the tentacles here really quick. And then I'm going to leave that one to dry. And then I'll finish it up with a little bit of line work. Actually, before I do though, I want to add some like red paint. I added some hearts in the text Again, I'm not pro calligrapher, but I do a little cursive sometimes. I don't think it looks terrible. Anyway, so I'm going to be taking that peachy pink color. I'm going to be actually mixing a little bit to that just to make it a little darker. And I am going to be painting this one upside down. And I don't really know where to start. All right, we're just going to start on the little fins here. And I really don't know where I want the light source to be. I guess it's going to be going this way toward the left side. I realize that there are a lot of pencil marks on this one. There's actually a lot more than I even really realized. And then just these little tiny tentacles here. And then this side. Just super loose and easy is what I'm going for. I am going to kind of feather a little bit of it out, just because I don't want all these harsh lines everywhere. So I'm going to let these dry, and then I'm going to come back in with just like a fine liner or something just to add that last bit of depth and to go over the text. Now that I've sufficiently added shading and they're dry, I did add a couple of things. I colored in the face and the cheeks on these. I'm going to go right in and just kind of outline this stuff with a micron pen. That is so shaky. Oh my gosh. We'll make it like faux calligraphy or something. Let's do that. Same with that one. Let's just pretend it looks good. Alright. So I'm just going to draw in the faces on these really quick. This one has like a cute little kissy face and I just love it. I'm going to be really loose with the outlines on these. Just because, I don't know, it's me and I am lazy. And then I'm just going to draw in these cute little tentacles that are kind of like crossed body tentacles. I actually think I outlined the wrong one here, but it's fine. We'll just pretend like it was the right one. It was supposed to be this line that was supposed to go, but that's okay. Oh, it's so cute though. And then this one, just the same thing. I'm just gonna outline. I may color these eyes in with black. I don't know yet. But just kind of, again, just really loosely outlining this. We have our heart squid and then our self-love squid, self-love. I feel like self-love has been done before, but I also feel like I'm really proud of it, if that makes sense. Like, I came up with a pun that's cute and punny. And then ta-da. Oh, wait. I completely forgot this whole line. I kind of wanted to put some little suction cups in here. I always like to do 3. I don't know what my deal is with that. And because I can, I'm going to darken up. You ever, like, add the liner and then you're like, oh, this isn't dark enough? That's where I'm at right now. And I am going to just color these eyes in. I feel like they look weird brown. And then there are my squids. My little weird heart squid and my little self-love squid. Oh, they're so cute. One thing I'm going to do to kind of, you know, just make this page more fun, I'm going to paint in some little hearts. An easy way to do hearts too, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but it's just to make little V's. That's what I do when I'm lazy. I'll just make little V hearts. So here are my little Valentine's Day ideas for your sketchbook. We've got the conversation hearts, some flowers, whether they're roses, whether they're some you received, some you found on Google, some you bought for yourself. Some little love letters, heart-shaped balloons, a geometric heart, some paint splatter hearts, and then we have the chocolate-covered strawberries, some heart-shaped plants, and then we have, of course, my signature, which are squids. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it sparked some creativity, and I hope that if you make any of the squid doodles here, tag me over on Instagram or Twitter. I'd really love to see them. I love you all so much. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. I had fun hanging out, and I hope you did too. If you like this video, don't forget to thumbs it up. Also, don't forget to join our Squid Pod if you're new here by hitting the subscribe button down below. And just to plug it really quick, I do have a Patreon if you want to support me over there. The theme this month is moths, and I will be making stickers, prints, and charms of the moth theme. So if you want to head on over there and check it out, there will be a Patreon link up here, and I will also have a link in the description. As I mentioned earlier, I also have a store, and every 3 months I change out the stock based on the seasons, and this season is Valentine's and spring related, so if you're interested in any of those items, again, there will be a link on the screen. I've already mentioned it, and there's also a link in the description. Alright, I'm done plugging things. I love you all so much. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all later. Toodaloo!